every community that already has a noise ordinance. This is not really a big deal. This is just one tool they can have in an extreme situation in which somebody is not willingly or voluntarily being a good neighbor, which 99% of the time people are. They're good neighbors. If you have a problem, the police go out, they say someone's having a problem, they turn down the music, it's over. It's done. You know, in 99 or even maybe a greater percentage of the time, these issues are resolved informally. They always are. I ask you, as one of the people who really is suffering, my family is suffering grievously, that we give the police the ability, in that rare circumstance, where asking nicely doesn't.
Just because we have the ability to make a resolution doesn't mean that we necessarily have to make a resolution. We have the ability, and we're also to do cluster homes. Doesn't mean we have to have cluster homes. I really don't think we need any more regulations in this township. I just don't.
I'm very against this having an ordinance. I think that it's unfortunate when you move into an area like this. I always thought it was a small community, people should be able to talk to each other. And when you get to that point that you can, and yes, there's always going to be neighbors that you can't talk with, that are deliberately going to be belligerent, those are the same people that are going to call the police on you whether you have a noise ordinance or not.
I am in favor of the ordinance for a couple reasons. First of all, I think potentially it empowers the owner. You know, if the police had the empowerment to, with an ordinance, she could have potentially then used that also to resolve her issue with her own family.
I've lived in Jogga County for 36 years, and I moved to Walk Road from East Clarendon 8 years ago. And just to the same reason that the lady here moved out here because of the noise problems in town, if there were noise ordinances in this community, I would move out. That's how my wife and I feel about it.
Your right ends, the right to swing your arms ends where my nose begins. That's a very simple concept. We're not trying to stop normal, everyday projects or whatever you're doing. We want the ability to stop those times when talking doesn't do it, when it's unreasonable.
I don't think that we, first off, have the police power to be, answering calls from residents because Hilbert's noise is too loud, or so-and-so's noise is too loud, the dog is barking.
I would like to see an ordinance with reasonable hours and looking for things that people, not just people who are inconsiderate, but people who are just doing things that know better.
I'm just saying, where do you stop? I just hate to see our rights taken away every time we turn around.
I don't think we're going any further here. I don't think you're going to see, I would bet in the next 10 years, you probably won't see anyone settle with this law. But the teeth are there, so the police have to use it. It's there, and people usually heed the warning, and then that's the end of it.
Like, what kind of people are complaining all kinds of guys? And where does it stop? If the cop comes over and he doesn't like you, is he going to give you a ticket? If he doesn't like your looks, if he doesn't like what you said, is he going to give you a ticket about this ordinance?
I can tell you that it's based entirely on a standard of reasonableness. It is not about making the police into decibel detectives or noise Nazis. It's not about imposing silence across the community. It's not about a TV set that's too loud. It's not about kids playing in the yard. It's not about people doing target practice at reasonable times. It's not about anything that's reasonable. No one is talking about being oppressive in terms of normal noise that goes with living out here, having a family, and doing your thing. It's the few cases where people are belligerent, uncooperative, even nasty, that we can't send these guys in to just say pretty please.
To me, that's the issue here. Consideration, thinking of others, civility. If we all had that, this would not be an issue. Hopefully in our community we will have civility, we will think of how our actions affect others, we will think about what we're doing and the noise it creates and how it affects our neighbors,
It is a sensitive issue. The difficulty is that unfortunately it's neighbor against neighbor, and that's always a very dangerous thing.
So that's where I'm coming from, is the greater good, the majority of the residents, and if there's issues that could be ameliorated or worked on civilly between parties, that's what I would look for as a resolution as opposed to putting something on the books.